Hello, I'm Savannah Gear, and today we're going to talk about phonological awareness and phonemic awareness and how those two skill sets affect children's early literacy skills. So first of all, phonological awareness is the awareness of the sound structure of oral language that children can develop. And this includes identifying rhyming words, alliteration, and syllables. And then moving on to phonemic awareness, this is the awareness that spoken words are composed of individual sounds, or otherwise known as phonemes. This kind of goes along with blending sounds into words and being able to identify individual sounds and segmenting those sounds from words. So phonemic awareness falls under phonological awareness. Children need to first understand the larger segmentation of words before they can move in to the smaller segmentations of words that come with learning phonemic awareness. So, for example, phonological awareness just gives children the skills to divide words into sections based on what I said before, the syllables, and it also allows them to blend smaller words into larger words. Whereas phonemic awareness, it gives children the skills to divide words into their individual sounds that are based on one or two letters. So it just kind of, they need to know the broader knowledge of how to break up those words before they can know the more detailed ways of segmenting those words and learning how to make different words from all of those. So both of these skill sets lead children to develop literacy skills as they are developing how to break apart words based on the sounds they hear when they are speaking those words out loud. So now when they are speaking and they're learning and they're building their vocabulary, that can easily translate into literacy and being able to read, because once children understand the words that they are speaking and how to break those words apart, they are able to easily connect those with the words in print. If a child does not fully understand a word, they're not going to be able to later on connect the dots on how a word sounds and how it looks in print. So early literacy skills, there's a bunch of different skills that fall under that. So some of those are print concepts, letter naming, vocabulary, listening and speaking, and comprehension. So print concepts just go into how everyday ways we read. So children can learn for how different things, like what different things tell a reader. So first of all, when you're going to a restaurant and you have a menu, the menu is obviously going to tell you about the different food and drinks that are available at that restaurant. Road signs are going to tell us what is important for the road, what we need to know in order to drive. Signs that are out for a construction site are going to tell us that we need to be careful or to be slow or just be mindful of what's going on around us so that we are safe. And then moving on to books. When we read books, we're either reading them to learn information about a specific topic, or we are reading them based on a story that the book is telling us. So when also reading different things, especially when it comes to the menus and when it comes to books, children can learn that we read from top to bottom and left to right. And they also can develop the skills to notice the spaces in between words that will help them later on notice that that's how words are broken apart. So that way it's not just one continuous sentence with a bunch of letters where you have to kind of guess where the words are broken apart. It will give them the skills to know, okay, this is one word and this is another word. So all of these factors that go into learning print concepts give children a base of knowledge that help them later on when they are learning how to read. So that way they just know the basics of what they are looking at when it comes to reading. So a great activity for learning print concepts is a teacher or even a parent, while reading a book, they can point out to children how those pages are set up. So they can show them, we're going to read this page, we're going to start at the top and we're going to work our way to the bottom. And we're going to start at the left and work our way to the right. So that just kind of gives them and helps build that knowledge again on how pages are supposed to be read and how it will make sense to the reader. So doing this consistently over a period of time will help children absorb that knowledge and know how to read print. So now on to letter naming. Letter recognition helps children to later on match sounds and blend the sounds together to create words. So recognizing the different letters in print leads to the identification of words. So when children are able to recognize, say, let's take the word pull. So they know the word P and P, the U and and the two L's that are going to combine and make the L sound. So they are able to recognize those letters and put them together and make the pull sound. So an activity that kind of correlates with this is a teacher can get a printout picture. Doesn't matter what of, it can match the theme of the week, it could match the season, whatever is kind of going to go along with things. And teachers can either type on a computer or they can just write out different letters hidden within the picture. Obviously, the younger the age, you're going to want to make the letters a little bit more noticeable, not too big, but not so like kind of within the picture. You want to make them stand out a little bit. So you don't want it to go into the lines of like an outfit. You want it to kind of stand in the middle so that way children can easily identify it. So give the children the printout, a small magnifying glass, a blank sheet of paper, and a pencil. And as they are able to look through the magnifying glass and identify the letters, they can say them out loud and say the sounds that correlates with it. And they can also write the letter on their blank sheet of paper. So that way they're able to, identify the letter, they're able to identify the sound that matches it, and they're getting practice with writing the letters. So moving on to vocabulary. Building a child's vocabulary happens naturally when just speaking with them and just constantly speaking and talking, and it just gives them a really good head start to later identifying the words that are constantly hearing. So an activity for vocabulary is sight words. Sight words are given to children on index cards, and each individual word is written on a separate index card. So it gives children a chance to learn the words. They can either do individually, they can do it in partners, or they can do it in small groups. First, it will be gone over with a teacher, so that way students know how to pronounce the word and identify the word right away, and then they're able to practice it in their groups, pairs, or individually. So now, by the end of the school year, children have a very large base of vocabulary that they have learned and that they can understand. So vocabulary honestly kind of goes along with comprehension. So it ties in as children can better comprehend what they are reading or saying when they fully understand the words in their vocabulary and when they have a much larger vocabulary. So those two just kind of go hand in hand. So now I'm going to move on to the listening and speaking aspect. So children absorb everything they hear and they repeat those words and build upon their language skills. So engaging children in conversations and encouraging their curiosity through asking questions and learning helps to further build their language skills. So an activity that can go along with this is reading books. Reading books are a great way to build vocabulary and to get children listening and speaking. So to introduce new words into children's vocabulary, and it will if you sit down and read at least one book a day outside of school. So school, they should be reading at least one book a day, but outside of that, you can read another book and sit down individually with a child one-on-one and encourage their questions while you're reading and, try to answer them to the best of your ability. Or you can do just a little tiny search on your phone and just try to get as much information as you can to help your child build on their knowledge. And this goes along with just trying to help them build their curiosity. So the more that they ask questions and the more that you're able to answer them, or that you at least try to answer them and engage them in more conversations, they're going to be more curious about the world around them, and they're going to learn more about the world around them. So just always constantly be encouraging them. Thank you so much for coming and listening to me talk about phonological and phonemic awareness. I hope you were able to learn a little bit of information from it. Thank you.